What's going on, everybody? So I'm back today to talk about a new film that I've actually been really looking forward to watching despite not enjoying this director's first film that I watched. I didn't know what to expect going into this movie, and this film surpassed my every expectation. It ended up being one of my favorite films of the year this year, and the movie I'm going to be talking about today is Gaspar Noé's Vortex. Vortex is directed by Gaspar Noé. The film follows the last days of an elderly couple stricken by dementia. So before I get started talking about this film, I don't know if I've mentioned it on my YouTube channel before. I think when I did some hot takes a while ago, I might have said something, and I know I've mentioned it before on my TikTok and on my podcast, but I was not a fan of Gaspar Noé's climax. I had a huge respect for filmmaking and the visual style and the soundtrack, and I thought that it was really immersive in that regard, but I thought all the characters were miserable, and it was really hard for me to kind of immerse myself into the film because I couldn't care about anyone that was involved. I just found it really grating and irritating after a while. Going into Vortex, I was kind of, hesitant to kind of jump in and say, oh man, I can't wait to watch this movie. I'm super excited about it because I didn't know whether I was actually going to like it, and I absolutely adored this film. I feel like everything that Gaspar Noé did in Climax that I didn't like, he changed in this film and made it a little bit better. So simply enough, you have this husband and wife couple played by Françoise Lebrun and Dario Argento, who I was so excited to see act in this film. And they're a couple who live at home by themselves. They have a son played by Alex Lutz. He comes home to visit them every now and again, but not frequently. Dario Argento's character is writing a book about film, and the film just follows the day-to-day life of these two people and what it's like for someone to struggle with dementia. The wife is actually going through that struggle. Francois's character is dealing with dementia, and this movie looks at it in a way that I feel like no other film probably ever has, and that the filmmaking style is so brilliant and kind of puts the viewer into that space and makes you feel the way that these characters feel. So what's so fascinating about this movie is it's shot almost entirely in split screen from Gaspar Noé's character and François's character right next to each other. So you're watching both of their lives. So like she'll go to the grocery store and she'll start to have an episode with her dementia where she gets lost, and Dario Argento's character knows that she's been gone, and you'll see him home working on his book, and he starts to get paranoid. And so you've got that split screen of like, what's happening to both characters at the same time, but you want him to help her and go find her, and it creates this tension that exists. And I feel like split screen isn't something we see in a lot of films anymore, but I felt like in this movie it was executed so brilliantly. And there's a lot of moments where there's black frames before certain scenes that almost make you feel like you're having an episode, to where it's like, okay, this switches on where she's struggling and that she's gonna forget this area. There's so many heartbreaking scenes in this where Alex Lutz's character, who plays their son, will come home and his mom just has completely forgotten who he is as a person. And it's absolutely devastating to watch. And the way that the dementia is handled, and the denial of wanting to go to a facility because you feel like there's no coming back after that. There's not going to be any, things are going to get better, things are going to get peachy keen. It's like things typically just get worse after that. And it was really difficult to watch. You feel so deeply for these characters and you hurt so deeply for them watching them go through these struggles. And then you have some interesting elements introduced about Dario Argento's character where he might have been having an affair, and it's implied through that. And then you see him kind of in his head like, here's the woman I love who's going through this thing, but I also feel an attachment to this other woman. And it's really fascinating to watch that kind of play out on screen at the same time. And this movie's a little over a 2-hour runtime, and it just hurts every second watching these people go through this incredibly difficult time. And then we dive into Alex Lutz's character a little bit, where we see what's going on in his life. He's not making a lot of money. He's doing some seedy things behind the scenes to make money. He's constantly asking his parents for money, and it's just really heartbreaking. And this film looks at this really horrible tragedy that a lot of people have to deal with in such a realistic and gripping way that just really hurts to watch a lot of times. And I thought it was so brilliantly done. Like I said, the cinematography in this film is excellent. The third act of this movie has some of the most breathtaking shots in it, just like exploring like what mark does a person leave on the world. There's this great shot, the very last shot of the film, that kind of just makes you think like this is stuff that happens to everyone. This is something that could happen to anyone. And it just really left me thinking for a really long time after it was over. And the best movies, in my opinion, are the ones that keep your mind going long after you've watched them. And this is one of those movies. It just kept my mind spinning the entire time as to like, okay, I feel for these characters, I hurt for these people, and I really, you want a positive ending in a Gaspar Noé film, but you almost always know you're never going to get it. So this made me interested to watch more of Gaspar Noé's work, because Climax I was kind of indifferent on. I know a lot of people have said great things about like Irreversible, so I think I will go back and watch some of his other work now, because I haven't seen any of his other material. But this is a film that I would highly recommend checking out if you're into more somber character dramas. This was fantastic, and it's definitely going to make my top 10 of the year list. So have you seen Vortex? Did you love it? Did you hate it? Leave me a comment down below and let me know what you thought. I thought this movie was absolutely brilliant. It was heartbreaking, it was disturbing, it was sad, and it was everything I wanted this movie to be. As always, if you can like the video and subscribe to the channel, it helps me out a lot and lets me know the type of content you're looking for. I'm always putting out new material and look forward to getting more out for you in the near future. As always, everyone, thank you so much for watching, and have a great rest of your day.